So welcome again.
Yeah.
As I had mentioned before, we have previously looked at HTML, which was primarily, or rather, which is primarily used for purposes of publication. So you publish your content based on sorry on HTML. But then, of course, HTML had issues because before, what used to happen is that you are adding all our styles into HTML. That was not very manageable. It was difficult. If you are going to access the pages on different devices, you have to, create another piece of program, amongst many other things. So, uh, with the with the with the HTML and CSS, it became a bit of a problem to, now, sorry, start putting up the pages together, and actually even in terms of maintenance. So that's why they came up with CSS, so that now we could now be able to separate uh, the HTML and the CSS. So the HTML will remain for publication purposes. CSS will be used for other things like styling. So we're going to look at CSS in a short while. So I just open a small notebook here. Then we'll discuss that. So let's discuss CSS. CSS in full means cascaded
Style sheet.
style sheets. Now, cascaded because you can write it in multiple layers, so you can it has it has something called specificity. So I can apply so many styles to the same element, but now the specific style that is going to be given to the element will depend on the specificity of the CSS that you're going to write. So that's why it's called CSS. It's cascaded. I can write it at the page level, at the browser level, at the operating system level, at a component level, and so forth and so forth. So that's why cascaded. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to cascaded style sheets, there are three types of styles that you can apply. So three types of styles. One, we have browser-based styles. Browser-based styles. These ones are the ones that are applied by the browser in case you don't specify anything. Let me give you a classic example using a drop-down list.
Yeah.
So, oh, sorry, this is something else. Visual Studio Code. So I think we have our folder inside documents. I think we call it web design shortcuts. Okay. So just going to continue writing it from here. I'll put here. Then I'll just collapse this and I'll say this is today's. No, I forgot to put the other days.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So let me just call it the 07. Okay. So in day 07, where is it? Mm, oh, day 07. Okay, it's actually there. Day 07. Then I'll initiate emit. Then I'll talk about introduction to CSS. So we want to introduce CSS. So as I was saying, sometimes when you apply, so let me say here, I want a select, and I'm not going to give it anything else. I just give it options, three of them. Uh, the select name, okay, I don't need, maybe I can give it maybe gender, and gender. Then here I'll say male, and I'll say female, and not say. So add brother, not say, right?
Yeah.
something of that sort. Now, I've not applied any style on this document over here. So what I want to do is let me open a browser window like this. Then I place them side by side like that. Then I launch this. So you can see here, this is how it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Inside Chrome. If I took the same thing and I opened with maybe say a browser like say this is called Edge. So if I open it with Edge, you can see the corners, the background here is gray, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even the corners, the rounded corners and all that, they are not as refined as what we have on here. So you can see this one has rounded corners and it has blue background. So it means that if I don't provide any style, then the browser is going to apply its own
Style.
inbuilt styles. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's
Yes.
what I meant when I was talking about browser-based styles. The one the browser defines in case you have not defined your own. And that is the top level. Okay?
Mm.
That's clear?
Yes.
So in the event that you write your pages and you don't apply any styles, then the browser will give it its own styles, right?
Yeah.
Then number two, we have what we call besides browser-based styles, we have internal styles. So these internal styles are the ones that are integrated inside your page. For example, if you, for example, you can see that I have I I I have maybe say if I come to my code here, where are you? It's actually here. So when I come to this, okay, I'll just hide this. So when I come to this code, I can decide to come up here inside the head here, and I'll put my style, right?
Yeah.
So when I put my style here, then I can simply say something like maybe the background of the page. So I'll simply say body. Don't worry about the style itself. So I'll simply say background, maybe say gray, something like that. So you can see now the background has become gray.
Yeah.
So this is what we're calling internal file. Eh?
Yeah.
So by the way, there can be this internal file, but also I can include this file in an external file, okay?
Yeah.
Which is actually the best practice. The best practice is to have it in an external file so that you cannot be able to use it across multiple pages. Because I'll just need to load the page with the styles and everything just picks up. Okay?
Yeah.
So instead of writing it like this, I can also come back to my code over here and I can come here. Then I create a folder here called styles. I'll simply say CSS. Then inside CSS, I'll create a file called style.css. Then inside style.css, I'll put my styles over there. So I can simply say body. Then let me use a background of not gray, but maybe say cream. Eh? There's nothing like cream, but I have chocolate. Background of chocolate. So now you can see it doesn't apply simply because I have not linked it to my page. So if I wanted to link it, I can remove this. The background becomes white. Then I use the link attribute. Then in the link attribute, I'll use the CSS link attribute like that. And when I do that, this one is inside a folder called CSS, then style of CSS. So you can see now the background has actually applied. So I'm actually using this file, which is this one, to now control this page. That is the best practice. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one is called an external, using an external document. So internal document, or external document. So I'll put important here. This is what I prefer. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we also have inline styles. Inline styles, right? So
Right.
it's either on the browser, internal styling, or external document, or internal inline style. Internal and inline are different. Internal, I write the style at the header here. Okay.
Yeah.
Inline, I target the specific element. So for example, let me say I have a paragraph here and I want to change the paragraph here to have a white background. So here I can come and put style, then I can put background, style, then I can put background, then I can simply say purple. Again, I'll refresh this. So that paragraph doesn't have anything yet. So when I say this is some text, as it appears, you see now it has a purple
Full
background.
background.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is an example of an inline style. It is inline because it applies to this paragraph only. It's not a very good idea, but it's there in case you want to apply some specific styles to some specific components on your page. But again, it's not very good idea. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So the best idea is using this external sheet, which means that I can be able to now control my entire website from this page, from this particular document. I can change the font, I can change the styling, I can change the background colors, I can change how images are formatted, I can change the size of videos, and everything else. I can change how forms look like and everything else as far as my entire application or website is concerned. Okay?
Yes.
So those are the four main methods. Browser style, which is by default, if you don't apply, the ones that come with the browser will be used. Internal styling, which means I put it on the head of my document, then I define all my styles.
Yeah.
External document, whereby I can use an external document and link it using the CSS link attribute. Then also now the inline style, which applies to a very specific component on my document. Okay?
Yes.
You want to try that out?
Yeah.
It's good to try it out so that at least we get out of the way how do you add it. Then we now start focusing on exactly how do we use it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So I give you how long? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'll give you 5 minutes. Hello? Yes, Victor.
Almost done.
Oh, you're almost there. Okay, that's okay. Take your time. It's good to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that because we are going to just move, moving forward, we're just going to be adding our styles and we're moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Eric. Hello. Yes, Eric. I'm in class. Can you let me just call you at 4 p.m. Okay, thanks.
I'm still Richard.
That's okay, eh?
I was asking,
Okay.
how do you open the external file?
Can you give me your, you have your name? It's called what? Is it Ultraview? Hmm?
Yeah. Okay. Give me a minute. Uh, it's 113.
113.
Yeah.
Okay.
256
Okay.
469
And the password?
68 116.
Okay, let me see. So, um, you when you click here, when you click here,
Yeah.
then you need to create a folder here called CSS.
Yeah.
So create a folder called CSS. It already exists.
Yeah.
So since it exists, let me just check where you've placed it. Why am I not seeing it? Okay.
Yeah.
The CSS folder. No. Let me maximize this. Let me check folders. Uh, but I'm not seeing CSS folder here. New folder, CSS. It's telling me it is there. So where is it? uh, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Uh, this is interesting. Where is it now? Open images, web development. This is CSS. This is not a folder. So this is not a folder. So what you do is you create a folder. I think that's a mistake you made. You create a folder and you call it CSS like that. Then inside this CSS, you create a file. You call it styles dot CSS. Okay.
Yeah.
Then from there, now you put your styles here. Okay.
Yes.
So you can put the body of your document. You want the background to be chocolate like that. Then once this saves automatically, of course you can always go back to your uh, see here. Why is it refusing? Okay, it's here. So to go, where is it? You didn't open it. You hadn't opened it. So I think you had opened it. Only it could be showing in a different browser.
Yeah.
Uh, is it Hello World? It should not be Hello World. It should be Introduction to CSS. Yeah, now you can see. Oh, the background is supposed to be something different.
Yeah.
So let's check. So that style of CSS. Let's go to and the file is day seven. Day seven here.
Yeah.
So day seven. Let's see how you're using it. So on day seven, I say you create a link. It refers to CSS. Styles of CSS is there. That's okay. And inside styles.css, we have body with a background of chocolate. Let me just save this. This is actually saved. So let me just come back and that's strange. That's strange. That's strange. That's strange. Let me see. It should have applied the background. Body has a background. Okay. Do we have a body here? We have a body. And do we have in the style again? No, the background of this is inline. Yeah, this actually looks okay. The seven looks okay. The seven actually looks okay. So let me close this. Let me come back to. Did I lock you up? Did I kick myself out?
No.
I think I kicked myself out. Just a minute. Yeah, I think I kicked myself out. I should have closed this. So when you're going live, let me see. In terms of elements inspector, my body here does not have a background. My body does not have a background. But let me see the source files. There should be source file should be. mm, uh, seeing source file. That's why I like using Chrome. Eh?
Yeah.
That's why I like using Chrome. It makes it very very easy for me to debug. Eh? Let me just close this. So for Chrome, I'll need to come and check which documents were loaded. Oh, you didn't specify the. This should be CSS slash style sheet. Okay,
Yeah.
to begin with. Actually, what you do is you just say link here, then you link up the CSS, then you come and say the file here is it's into the file called CSS slash style.css. And why is your unique complaining? Why is your uh, browser complaining? Let me check mine. It shouldn't complain with that. That is pretty standard. Mine is actually not complaining. I wonder why yours is complaining. Let me see. Actually, that this looks okay up to this point. You put inside there on the title. That's okay. I go to a new line. Like that okay. That's okay. That's strange. Let me see. Those chocolate. Yeah, that should apply. So why am I having issues with this part over here? Or it's maybe because we have not written the style properly. Let me check. Maybe because we didn't write the style properly.
Should be the link be inside the body?
Yeah, the link should not be inside the body. It should be inside the head.
Oh,
Yes, inside the head. They should be together with the title.
yeah.
So, but let me just check the CSS. Background is actually okay. I wonder why it's not working. That it looks very okay.
Yeah.
It looks very very okay. Let me see. Yeah, it looks okay. Because if you see my code, it's more or less the same thing. It's more or less the same thing. Hmm. Then why is it an issue? I'm wondering. Ideally, it should be able to just work out smoothly. Ideally, it should just work out smoothly. Um, well, I can't tell why that isn't working, but from my point of view, that should be able to work. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll try a new one. We can try a new one.
Yeah.
So I can simply say here, new file. Then I'll simply say css.html. Then I'll put my cursor and I'll call it first CSS. Then inside the body here, I can come and after title, I add a link, and that link is the CSS to CSS file. So the style sheet is file on a CSS stroke. That. Let me just stop this and execute this other one. It's not picking. There has to be something with the configuration. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be okay. Maybe there's something with your configuration, but let's just carry on. Maybe we troubleshoot it later. I think it's something with your configuration because this style has got nothing, so to speak. It just has some changing the background, and that's basically it. Because we usually have a lot of styles here that I could have said. Maybe some is overriding yours, but of course your CSS will override the browsers and will also override any other that exists. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So so that's how, as I was saying, that is how we add CSS our on our documents. You can use inline styles like here, and sometimes when you are doing it for purposes of practicing, I can be using it inside here rather than using an external file. But as I've mentioned, using an external file is the best strategy. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's look at what we call selectors, CSS selectors. Now, selectors are the things we use to select DOM elements. The things that are used to select DOM elements. Now, they are divided into five main categories. I'll only look at one today because it's also wide.
Yeah.
So maybe tomorrow you look at another, maybe tomorrow we look at the other two, the other day we look at the other two, something like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to make it very, very complicated as we're getting started. So I just want us to be able to understand how it's going.
Yeah.
So the first selector, we call them simple selectors. So for these simple selectors, they allow us to select things in a simple manner. For example, pick things by their ID, right? So if I have a form that is having a user ID and a password, then I can pick the user ID separately and the element also separately. So these ones could be things like selecting by element. You could be selecting by name. It could be also selecting by besides name. There is the what do we call them? They are the IDs. Sorry, we have the classes and maybe even maybe the name. The name is there actually. So yeah, so when it comes to simple selectors, you can select by an element, and I'm going to show you how we select by elements and we target elements. We can select by ID, we can select by name, we can select by class, and so forth and so forth. So these are what we refer to as simple selectors. Okay,
Mm.
so let's just go back to this code window over here.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
can you excuse me for a moment? I want to go to open the gate.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Ah, you can continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was talking about simple selectors, and these ones are where you can select elements by you can select by elements. Say I can pick all the paragraphs on my page, right? I can
Yeah.
pick all the inputs on my page. I can put I can select all the lists in my page and that kind of stuff. So it's very very simple selectors. So what I want to do here is maybe say we have something like a list, and we have like three lists, and maybe let me not talk about lists, but let me talk about paragraphs. Say I have paragraphs and I want to apply borders to my paragraphs, right? So what I could do here
Yeah.
is again I'll just mask this. Then I'll come and say, I want to have paragraphs, three of them. So each paragraph I'll have here is this is the first. Then I say this is the second, and this is the third, right? So if I wanted to select paragraphs, I would simply come here. Well, I can introduce the style here. Maybe remove that. This was for purposes of seeing how it's defined. So I can come here and say, pick all my paragraphs. So of course, I'll put my style first because it's internal. Then I'll say, pick all my paragraphs. And after you pick my paragraphs, you'll put these brackets, these curly brackets. Then all your styles will go inside here. So for each paragraph, I can say line height is 50 pixels. Increase the line height between them. You can see now the line between them has been increased, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can say apply a border, 1 pixel, solid, gray. So you can see now they have gray borders. Then I can also go and say add a padding of maybe say 10 pixels. You can see how it has been pushed on the inside. Now, sorry, padding of 10 pixels. Now you can see it has been pushed on the inside. Okay. Then I can
Yeah.
say add a border radius of 5 pixels. So I want you to observe keenly. You can see the rounded corners have been changed. So you can see I just use the paragraph. So it has picked the first paragraph, the second paragraph, and the third paragraph, and these styles have been applied for those paragraphs. So this is an example of an element selector. I can pick a paragraph, like in this case, I have paragraphs over here. If I have an input, so if I have an input here of type text, then it has maybe say date of birth. So date of birth. I can actually target this input. So I can come here and say, get me all the inputs. Then for if it's an input, simply make the color is the color of the font, make the color blue. So the font color of this, as you can see, is going to be blue like that. Okay? So
Yeah.
I can pick by element. So it can be any element. It can be a select, it can be a table, it can be an ordered list, any element that you want to style. Okay?
Yeah.
You want to try that out?
Yes.
Okay. Success.
Almost done.
Okay.
Done.
Yes,
I'm done.
you're done, eh?
Yeah.
So you can see um, we can use element selectors to pick anything on the page, and you can apply any style. Don't worry, don't for now, don't focus on the style. I just
Yeah.
wanted to demonstrate that I can actually select an element. After I select an element, then I can use that element to apply styles to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
that is what we are referring to as element selector. Then we also have what we call class selector. So for example, I can come here and give this paragraph, the middle one, a class, and I call it maybe say I'll call it maybe say highlighter. So for that paragraph, since I'm getting a class of highlight, I can come here and I'll simply say get me anything that has the class of highlight.
Silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the class of highlight, you can see now I've applied background yellow, then I've given the color of red, and I've made the font bold. So if I had something else, it doesn't necessarily need to be a paragraph. I can actually come here and put another select. I give it a class of highlight like that.
Yeah.
Then I give it options. So you can see I can give it options. I can say choose. So you can see now, sorry. Now this one, why did I put and GT? LT rather. So I can have choose and GT. Yeah, remove that. So you can see now even this one has a yellow background with text that is, let me just remove the font to be from being bold. So you can see now it has a yellow background. So even if I was to put another option like yes or no, one here, any other option, zero for no. But you can see the yellow background and red text applies to these things that have the class of highlight.
Silence.
And that's the power of now CSS. I can select elements, then they can now be able to I can now be able to apply style to all these elements that are matching that particular style. So this is also another category of how we can make simple selections. Okay,
Yeah.
you can try it out.
Okay. It's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So then the other thing that the other simple selector that we can apply
Yeah.
inside CSS is what we call the ID selector. So ID selector is when we give something a specific ID. For example, we can have an input here and maybe say I have is a text with an ID of username and a class of maybe say form element, right? So it will have an ID of username with a class of form element. So username also. Then I can have other inputs also here. So that is, I'll give it a placeholder. Actually, let me just put, well, I'll show you how to format them downwards. But anyway, for now, we can put page breaks. For now, you can put breaks so that they appear on separate pages like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have an element here, then I can put a placeholder and say your username. Okay?
Yeah.
So if I do that, it will have your username. Then I can have another one, your first name and your last name, isn't it? So it's going to
Yeah.
be an input with a class of form element, but then it also, yeah, input with a class of form element. Then I'll simply say maybe placeholder. Then this is me, your first name,
First name.
your first name, like that, right? So
Yeah.
then I can put a break here. Well, I can put them side by side. So what happens is I want to format all the inputs that are form elements up to a certain style. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can come here. I can still use the class. So I'll say dot form element like that. So you can see I'll be able to change a few things. So I've made the width 300 pixels. I've put the padding. Padding is the space surrounding the text. Then maybe I can do a margin top of maybe say another 20 pixels. So now you can see they are far apart, right?
Yeah.
For this one, I want to remove the outline. So for the one that has, you can see when I click, they have this outline, right?
Yeah.
So maybe say for the one that has an ID of username, I don't want the outline. So I can come here and put pound symbol. Pound means ID. Okay. So
Yeah.
ID I'm talking about here is actually username. Okay.
Yeah.
So some the one that with the ID of username, I'll simply say outline none. Like that. So you can see if I put here, there's an outline, but if I put here, there's no outline. You see that?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is how you use the ID selector. So you use a pound symbol. Okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. So these are simple. This is what we call simple selectors. They are simple yet also powerful, as you can see.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the styles that are applied inside here. We're going to explain all of these things as we are moving along. I'm only applying them there for purposes of showing us how the form should look like when we are still styling it. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you can try that out.
Okay. It's okay.
Yes,
It's okay.
it's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
So as you can see, these are examples of simple selectors. We have element selector. This is an element, this is an element. This is a class selector. This is also a class selector. This is an ID selector. But then you can also combine them, okay?
Yeah.
You can combine both an element and a class or an ID. So that is still considered a simple selector. Let's say, for example, I want here I have this highlight, but it is a select. I want highlight to only apply to paragraphs. So I want this highlight to only apply on paragraph and not a select input. Okay? Or maybe
Yeah.
I want different effects for the different items. So what I will do here, when I come to this highlight, if I put p dot highlight, you can see that now it has remained on this one only and has been excluded from this. You see that?
Yes.
So, but alternatively, I can also say all highlights will have yellow. But if I come and put a select that has a highlight like that, then maybe I can change the background to maybe say gray, something like that. So you can see now the select with a class of highlight. Yeah, that should that is select with a class of yeah that should work. Mm, select with a class of highlight. Um, that should have picked. Okay. I'm not seeing the gray. Let me put it blue. Even that blue doesn't apply. Why is that not applying? Mm, why is this style not applying? Uh, I don't know what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I think it's now okay. So you can see select now. Then maybe I can make a margin top of 20 pixels. Then maybe I can give it a padding of 15 pixels all round. Well, 15 pixels a bit too much. Maybe we give it 5. Something of the sort. Okay, so you can now see this one is slightly. This is a select with a class of highlight. This is a paragraph with a class of highlight. So I can have different styles for highlight when I just introduce. Now I'm combining the element selector and the class selector. So you can also put element with ID. You can put element with other things that you want to use to be able to select the component itself. Okay.
Yes.
So this one is still considered a simple selector, even though I have combined. I've said get me a paragraph with a class of highlight. Get me a select input with a class of highlight.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay.
It's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
So now that those are the simple selectors, but then you can combine them as much as you'd like. Eh?
Yeah.
And of course, as we're going to do one project that will have all of them. Of course, we still have another four to go, and I'll look at them from the next step. But I wanted us to discuss some other few things about CSS. So we have looked at those simple selectors. Then why do we need CSS? Why CSS? Of course, we have seen the first thing is separation of content and style. And as you can see here, so this is separation of content from style. So even though we have been writing them at the same place over here, I can simply take out this whole style sheet here. I remove it. Then I simply come and place it inside my style sheet over here. Now you can see the styles have not applied. Eh? The styles have not applied, right?
Yeah.
So what would happen if I just introduce this file? So what will happen if I just introduce this file over here by, I can remove these styles, then I just need to link this style here. So when I link it like that, you can see all the styles have applied again. So you can see my styles are no longer in this page, they are on a separate,
Page.
completely separate page. And that's the beauty of it. So I don't need to mix and match my CSS with my page. Okay, my page
Yeah.
remains separate, my CSS remains separate. I hope you can see that. Eh? And that's very powerful. Okay.
Mm.
The other one is it improves page aesthetics. As you can see, we can apply colors, we can apply fonts, we can add icons, we can put rounded shapes, we can add images, we can style so many things. Okay, as we're going to see later on. So CSS, the other thing that it does or why we need it again is to improve aesthetics. Eh?
Yeah.
Improve page aesthetics. Improve page aesthetics like that. Then number three, of course, is responsive design. Responsive design means that I can make it appear different for mobile devices. Okay.
Yeah.
So by default I'm showing this one on a desktop page, but I can actually show this on a mobile page in such a way that now everything that is here is made small according to mobile. So I can arrange them from top to right, left and bottom, and so on and so on. We call them breakpoints. So when you're looking at CSS, we look at breakpoints and we see how we can break this page so that if I view it on a mobile, it looks different from a tablet, it looks different from a desktop page, and so forth and so forth. So that's another reason why we use CSS. Of course, the other one is faster page loads. We have faster page loads. So it makes the pages load faster because the content are separate and all of them are downloaded separately, one side by side, then they're combined together by the browser. Okay?
Yeah.
Most importantly is easier maintenance. Easier maintenance means if I wanted to upgrade or make changes to my code, the CSS files are going to be separate, the HTML files are going to be separate. So making changes is very easy and I can easily scale them up very, very fast. Okay? Now,
Mm.
also in terms of maintenance, assume I had another page over here. Let me call it page 2, day 7, page 2, isn't it? Day 07, page 2, .html. Then here I also have still, I'm going to go to um, uh, uh, intro, introduction to CSS. This is page 2, right?
Yeah.
Let me put here a paragraph with a class of highlight. So I have a paragraph here. Then I say, this is page 2, paragraph. Then I put a highlight of another paragraph with a class of
Yeah.
highlight, like that. Then here I'll say lorem 100. So it will put some random text over there. Now, when this page loads, you see with this page as it's going to work, let me just bring that back. How this page is going to work is I'm going to close this. So if I load the second page, it just has some plain text, okay? Now,
yeah,
look what happens when I link the CSS. So I'll link this CSS and I'll call it, go to a folder called CSS, then start to CSS. So you can see automatically it has formatted that page.
yeah,
So that is the maintenance I'm talking about. So when it comes to making changes and making adjustment and all that, because this content and styles are separated, I can easily, have this thing scale up very very fast. And if I wanted to change this because I don't like the letter space, the letter spacing within the paragraphs themselves. So on the highlight, on the one that is highlighted, I can simply say the line height. The line height here is line height here. Let me give it maybe say 20 pixels. Is that big? So let me say 10 pixels. Line height. Let me give it 5 pixels. I don't know why the line height is not. I think the line height should be changed with. Yeah, line height is okay. So maybe say font size is maybe say 12 pixels. Why isn't it picking? It's not picking because I know for a fact that 12 points is very very small. Oh, this is select. See now I'm targeting the wrong thing.
yeah,
That was select. I was targeting select instead of paragraph. So I was
yeah,
supposed to put it as the paragraph here. So line height. Those mistakes happen.
yeah,
I'll say line height here is maybe say 20 pixels. So you can see now the line height has become much much smaller.
yeah,
That will apply for the first page and all the last page. So when it comes to maintenance, that's what I'm talking about. I'll change once and it applies across my entire website or application.
yeah,
Then, of course, the other reason why is we use CSS is consistent look and feel.
yeah,
Consistent look and feel. You will have consistent look and feel because on your pages you'll be applying the same style to same components, same style. So the look and feel will be the same most of the time, unless you don't want some things to look similar. Then you can give them different styles. Okay. Then lastly is advanced style layouts. It allows us to have advanced style layouts, and you're going to see these ones in terms of things like grid. When using the grid, when you're using a flex, and all these things, they allow us to have very advanced layouts which can enable us to be able to have things move from left to right, top to bottom. They scale easily across multiple devices and so forth and so forth. Okay, so
yeah,
this is why we need CSS. So what can it do now that we know what it is? What can it do? What it does? That is why we need it. Then there's what it does. What it does is you can style text. So I can simply put here. You can use it for styling text, which you're going to do in detail. We can also use it to style backgrounds of any element, whether it's the body, it's a paragraph, any element on CSS. Then we can also use it for spacing, as you have seen. I've just shown you how to reduce the spacing in terms of text whenever you want to. It also allows us to do what we call layout design. It allows us to lay out things in terms of layout design. Sorry, layout design. So in terms of how we're going to lay out our design, it will allow us. So that one is going to come on flex boxes and grid boxes. Okay? So
yeah,
you see how that works out. Then the other thing, of course, is responsive design. It allows us to be able to have um, different styles for different devices. So, for example, different look and feel on mobile and PC. Look and feel on mobile desktop. So since mobile is a smaller screen, the look will be a bit different. So we can also use it to do animations and transitions, as you're going to see. Animations and transitions are a specialty of CSS. Also, this is a JavaScript. This used to be a JavaScript realm, but CSS has also come out very strong in the recent years. So you can do a lot of animations with it. Then the other one is element visibility. CSS will enable us to show some elements and hide elements that you don't want to show depending on some certain conditions. We're going on to also see that. Then I think the other one is reusability. You can reuse the same code over and over
Yeah.
again. So that, like I've just shown you, if we were to create our website and we have to apply a different style, we just go to our style sheet, apply the style, and it takes effects in our entire website or web application, which is pretty powerful if you ask me. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a primer on CSS. This is what CSS does, or what we're supposed to do with it. So the takeaway here is you need to know the types of style. There are four, actually, not three. The four types of styles are there. Browser-based, which is technically not our concern, but we have internal styling, external document, which is what is preferred, and of course, inline styling as I had shown us. Then how to use selectors. We have seen how to use simple selectors. We're going to come back to the other four later on. Then we see how they work out. Then, of course, now we can start implementing them one by one on our practical project page. Okay?
Yeah.
I think I'll take a break at that point, unless you have a question. Then we can carry on tomorrow. Tomorrow we can do from 4 to 6, right?
Yeah.
Just to cover up the class that I missed yesterday. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yes. Any
Yeah.
question?
For the moment, I'll just recap the video and then I'll tell you if I have a problem.
No problem at all. Let me just share that. Then we can see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
You too.